Hi everyone, Leda here today. I am filming this video today. It's not your usual typical tutorial. I am here to give you all an update. I have been missing in action, haven't done any tutorials, haven't really been active on any social networking at all. Aside from the fact that I'm really not a very good social butterfly, I've been sidetracked with some health news that I've received. I am an endometriosis warrior, and I'm fighting a disease that has no cure, causes a lot of pain, and disrupts my daily life. I've been suffering from this disease for about, well, after knowing that I have this disease, I've been suffering it knowingly, or having the information rather, for about a good, let me see, about 3 years. 3 years now. I was diagnosed in 2008 with this disease through a surgery. Endometriosis is when the endometrium, which is the lining of your uterus, when you have your monthly cycle, your period, your menstrual cycle, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes I refer to it as driving Miss Daisy because, she complains and I don't want to listen. But it is really when the lining of your uterus, that's what's shedded from your uterus, or what you get rid of from your uterus when you have your menstrual cycle, which is like blood. It's the bleeding. It's really not blood. It's the lining of your uterus that wasn't used when, no fertilized egg implanted itself or anything like that. So your body doesn't need it, so it gets rid of it. There are many ways that you can suffer from endometriosis. I'm not really going to cover every which way that a woman can go through this situation or this disease. What happens with me is I get cysts on my ovary. In my case, when I ovulate, the cysts don't rupture and release an egg, or break, or however you want to refer to it. They don't open up and release the egg and go away. They stay there. The cyst itself does not go away when I ovulate. What happens is somehow the endometrium, the lining of my uterus, has found its way into the cyst, and it grows there. So every time I go through my monthly cycle, this endometrium, this little piece of lining of my uterus that has found its way outside, reacts just the same way as if it were inside of my uterus. So what happens there is it bleeds. I'm going to refer to it as bleeding, just for the sake of this video and explanation. So in essence, I have uterine lining in my ovary inside of a cyst that is bleeding every time I get my period. So therefore, it accumulates, it grows. And what happens in the long run as this develops throughout every monthly cycle is it becomes what's called a chocolate cyst. You have all this old blood just sitting there accumulating, and it's basically, it's going old. It's when blood goes old, it turns brown. So that's why it's called a chocolate cyst. And I recently found out that I have one about the size of a grapefruit. Grapefruits have a pretty decent size. It's about a good 9 to 10 centimeters. So I would say maybe this big, roughly, all around, like this big. So if you don't know what a grapefruit is, you can just grab one and be like, wow, that's a grapefruit. And that's the size of this chocolate cyst that I have inside of my stomach. It's been very hard news for me to take because I've been through this twice before. The first time it was actually life-threatening, and I needed emergency surgery. Like in a couple of days, I was in the operating room getting it taken out. I lost my left ovary when that happened. The second time I got it, I was going through some treatments of all different nature, and part of my treatment was estrogen filled. I'm not going to go into detail as to what was going on that time. But endometriosis feeds off of estrogen. It grows on estrogen. So it developed to the size of a peach in a matter of 3 weeks. So I had to go in for surgery again. This time, I was having some testing done, and for a completely different situation, and it came up on that testing. So I'm not gonna have emergency surgery, like the last 2 times where it was like, oh wow, this is going on, and 2 days later I'm in an operating room. I'm going to have surgery in about a month, to try and get rid of it and possibly save a little piece or part or some of my ovary. But yeah, this was hard news to take because, you grow up thinking, well, at least for me, I don't know that every girl or every woman goes through this, but you kind of grow up thinking, how many kids you want, or, when I get married, or, when I grow up, and you plan kind of ahead as to how you see your future. And I saw my future with a boatload of children running loose in my household. I wanted to pop babies left and right, going everywhere, all the time, every year if possible. But that did not happen. I was blessed with one girl, and she's been a real blessing in my life. She's my little hero. And I had her 9 years ago, and since then I've been attempting to bring more children into this world. If you want a little more information on this, or just are curious, I'll put a couple of links to the websites that I've gone to just to try to learn more about this disease. Sorry about that. Some of the basic questions that I get is, why did this happen to you? I don't know why this happened to me. And I'm still trying to figure that one out. In my family history, there is no history of this disease. So I don't know why it happened to me. There is some argument that you are born this way, or it's passed down through the genes, your family history. So since there's no one in my family that suffers from this, as far as I'm aware, I was born like this. To my knowledge, I was born this way. And some of the argument with that is that when the fetus is developing and all the different cells are being assigned to, develop into the different organs, is that some of the cells that develop your uterus don't actually form properly and stay outside. And when you get your first monthly cycle, they react in another part of your body as if they were in the uterus. So just for the sake of argument and for some sort of explanation for myself, that's what I think happened with me. If it is or it isn't, I'm not even sure. But for now, and for the purpose or sake of this video, we'll just say that that's the case with me. Another question that I often get is, well, why don't you just get surgery to get everything taken out? Ovaries, uterus, a hysterectomy. A hysterectomy is not a cure. A lot of people are misinformed with this, and it is not a cure. Until you are menopausal and no longer, you go through your menopause and that's it. You stop seeing a period or a monthly cycle, monthly menstrual cycle. You will suffer for this, or with this rather, for the rest of your life until that stage in your life comes. There are some women that go through menopause, don't see a monthly cycle, and still suffer from all the scarring that the endometriosis causes. And so obviously a hysterectomy for me is not an option. If it's not medically necessary, then I'm not going to have one. Another question that I get is, well, why don't you go and get pregnant? Or comment rather, not really a question. If you get pregnant, you don't have a monthly cycle, then, your symptoms will go away. You won't suffer from this. Like I said, I wanted a lot of kids, have been trying for about 9 years. Nothing's happened. And a pregnancy is not a cure. That I feel is very insensitive when people have said that to me. If you just genuinely don't have information and just honestly want to ask the question, that's cool. Try to be a little sensitive about it. Those are basically the only questions. Why did this happen? Is there a cure? Um, Pregnancy. And the last question or comment that I get a lot is, well, you look like a normal person. You really aren't sick. It's all in your mind. You're making your cramps bigger than what they are. That has been the toughest for me, honestly, because it's hard to prove that you're sick when you look completely fine. You see me walking down the street, you would never know that I'm suffering through this. So, yeah, it's an internal situation. It is an emotional roller coaster, and it really puts you out. It knocks you off your feet. What I have gone through, I would rather go through labor and delivery and push out babies left and right and suffer through that pain than suffer through what I'm living through right now. I am in pain right now. Part of the reason why my makeup is done is so I remember that I am beautiful and not to cry. I will not let endo get the best of me. I will not let it ruin my life. I have joined a endo support group that is beautiful. The women are just beautiful. And it's I would say for me, it's a safe haven to say what I feel and ask questions and not be laughed at, judged, or basically, it's a great place to just vent sometimes and hear that other women go through what you go through after a lifetime of being told that it's all in your head. Every woman goes through this. Pain is normal. Let me tell you something. Pain is not normal. Pain is your body telling you that something is wrong. So if you are going through something, whether it's endometriosis or any other thing in your life that causes you pain physically, it's not normal. It's not all in your head, and something is wrong. If your doctor doesn't listen to you, go get another doctor. Fire him, hire someone else. Because I went through something with my doctors telling me that it was all in my head, that there's, nothing wrong with me. No one paid attention to me. All the meanwhile, I was dying from the inside. I found a doctor who finally paid attention, sent me for different testing, and come to find out, everything was messed up and scarred inside already. So Lord knows how long I've been going through that before I found this doctor who paid attention to me. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to leave them in the comment section. You can go to my Facebook fan page and you could leave some questions there, or to FormSpring and leave your questions there wherever you feel more comfortable until I assign a designated place for endo talk. Yeah, so I'm sorry that I've been missing in action. I haven't forgotten about you guys. I've just really been, I've not been feeling like myself lately. But I'm keeping my spirits up, and you should too if you're an endo warrior. And, my prayers are with you. I am requesting a strong prayer circle. Pray for me. And I pray for you. And I feel that a strong prayer circle is a powerful thing. And I am, I'll leave it here for now. when I feel more comfortable sharing a little more detail, or depending on the questions that I get, maybe I'll do another endo talk video and maybe just share how I feel or what I'm going through at the time. If you can't believe it, there are actually more endo warriors than breast cancer warriors. It's just that we don't really have a good voice to get us out there and be heard. A lot of women don't speak up because they're told what I was told. It's in your head, and you'll be fine. Just in case you want more information or are curious, I'll put the link in the down bar where I've done some research on endometriosis. If you are an endo warrior and want a support group, I'll also put the link in the down bar to the support group that I've joined online. And I actually found them through Facebook. Go figure. But they're there. They'll help us, give us a better voice for this fight. And maybe if we all share our stories and our diagnosis and stuff, maybe we'll speak up loud enough one day where we'll be all heard, and hopefully a cure would come out of this, so our daughters and nieces and grandchildren and just anyone in our family, future generations that we know, won't suffer the way we did. So I'll leave you for now. I'm super medicated so I could do this, and it's kicking in. But I'll see you guys in the next video, hopefully a tutorial. If you want more endo talk, let me know. You could submit your requests on Facebook, on my page, or just leave them in the comment section below, okay? If you're suffering from something, I hope that tomorrow is better than today, and that today is okay. That's what I'm hoping for myself.